Amazing. Thank you, Masood, for sharing that trip down memory lane. And you heard some dulcet tones in the background. And so we're going to continue that theme. If I can please invite, I think, Shafeeq, Saifullah, and Yassar, please, to the stage.
Okay, Bismillah, Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me at the back? Oh, you can.
Assalamu alaikum. Yassar, are they joining in or are they not joining in?
They can join in if they want to.
Are the women allowed to join in?
I don't know. What's the masla on that? Okay. You've all been hearing stories, so I thought I'll tell you a story. I remember Dr. Munir lining us all up. And I was at the back of the queue, like usual. And they had this, what they called the national anthem. And they must have had this big meeting somewhere, probably on Leicester Road or wherever it is. And White House meeting. And so they had this national anthem. And so I think they must have given this responsibility to Dr. Munir. So he came back to Bradford, lined us all up, says, right, somebody's going to sing this nasheed. It's very important, we need a national anthem, and this is it. So one brother went forward, tried to sing this nasheed. We were rolling over in laughter. It was just so funny because nobody could sing this nasheed. One after another, they tried and failed. And I'm thinking, well, nobody's going to do this. And so I stood up thinking that, yeah, we'll just roll over in laughter and that'll be the end of it. But they were like, oh, Yassar, that's pretty good, that. You've got the job. So I get this call from Zaid Pervez, and he's like, I want you to put a tune to this and make it good. And I wanted a couple of weeks to work on it. He says, you got 3 days. You're coming down to head office, to the White House, and you're going to present this, so get ready. Anyway, they're in their big meeting, in a big boardroom type setting, big long table, all these big wigs sat around deciding major things. And eventually they called me in, right, sit down, you're going to sing this nasheed, and we're going to see if these guys like it or not. So I did my thing, and we did the nasheed, and they all sat very quietly. And you know what it's like when people sit quietly, you're thinking, do they like it or do they not like it? So I think they did like it, and then that's where it all started from, I think. So that's the story.
Yeah. I remember, in fact, we were in Sheffield at the time. So I used to live in Sheffield back in 1990 when we recorded our first album of Lost Identity, and we recorded at a tape studio called Red Tape Studios in central Sheffield. You were a student, weren't you, in Sheffield?
I was studying at the university, yeah.
And then in 1991 we had the 11th hour on these things called tape cassettes. Some of us still remember them, right? You just put them in your car stereos, and then when it finished you have to rewind for about 10 minutes to get back to the track that you really liked. Yeah. Okay,
so we're going to do a few tracks. I was listening to these albums and thinking these lyrics are really on another level, really, and many of them are thanks to my older brother, Saifullah Bhai, for spending hours and hours using his English skills to write these. MashaAllah, God bless him. Okay, we're going to start, we're going to do a few tracks. Just tell us when you're bored, basically. Okay.
Which one to start off with?
We'll start with our national anthem. Bismillah. Please join in the chorus. In one God we believe, no equal has He, Lord of the universe, compassionate to us. We are the young Muslims, and God we praise for all His blessings. Prophet taught us the way to be honest and truthful throughout every day. We are the young Muslims, and God we praise for all His blessings. Our voices we raise. The Holy Quran to life is our guide. Its teachings we follow, by it we abide. We are the young Muslims, and God we praise for all His blessings. Our voices we raise. Islam, our religion, preaches good deeds, mercy and kindness. To the right path it leads. We are the young Muslims, and God we praise for all His blessings. Our voices we raise upon all humanity. God showers His grace, regardless of color, nationality or race. We are the young Muslims, and God we praise for all His blessings. Our voices we raise. Through working together, our hopes increase to live in a world full of love and peace. We are the young Muslims, and God we praise for all His blessings. Our voices we raise. Jazakallah.
Hey, Yassar, you need some water soon.
I will do.
Hint, hint for someone who's at the front.
Okay, next one. What's the next one called?
This one.
Just say what it is.
Lost Identity is the next one we've got here. Did you drink before or after the track? You okay?
I'm on it.
It's coming, it's coming.
I've got my water here, so.
Have you got it down there? Mine. Who spiked the drink? That's weird.
Don't look for my Islamic identity. It's been a while since I shared its company. I feel I'm slipping away. You must do something about it.
The Muslims are one brotherhood, helping one another, keeping together as the Prophet said we should, sharing our tears and joys.
My future seems so bleak. My mind and body feel so weak. I feel I'm slipping away. You must do something about it.
The Muslims are one brotherhood, helping one another, keeping together as the Prophet said we should, sharing our tears and joys.
A brother I met just yesterday listened to my problems, showed me the way, welcomed me and overlooked my mistakes. You are doing something about it.
The Muslims are one
Brotherhood, helping one another, keeping together as the Prophet said we should,
sharing our tears and joys.
My heart is opening to reality, my mind returning to sanity. Alhamdulillah, I can see the light, you have done something about it.
The Muslims are one
Brotherhood, helping one another, keeping together as the Prophet said we should,
sharing our tears and joys.
I sense the corruption surrounding me, I feel it in the street and in my home. Oh Allah, help us, we all need the light, we must do something about it.
The Muslims are one
Brotherhood, helping one another, keeping together as the Prophet said we should,
sharing our tears and joys.
Have you seen my brothers wandering aimlessly, and my sisters dreaming of vanity? Do you see the direction of society? We must do something about it.
The Muslims are one
Brotherhood, helping one another, keeping together as the Prophet said we should,
sharing our tears and
joys.
Actually, where is Saifullah? So, one of the misconceptions within YM is that, because I often got given the mic as if it's my project or something, it never was. I didn't write any of the lyrics, and Saifullah, mashallah, was one of our main lyricists, and you know, he was being the project coordinator over all these years, and I thought maybe you want to share a little bit. I put him on the spot, so I'm hoping he's not going to say no and refuse the mic.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so my story, in 1984, we went from Bradford, we went to Hayes. It was a forces camp, and it was winter camp. There was snow outside. And Dr. Munir, he asked us to sing the ABC Islam song by Yusuf Islam. And like, we were expected to go onto the stage and sing this song. And I wasn't really much into stages, and I didn't really, you know, that wasn't really my thing. You know, I was a quite reserved, kind of a reserved person. I was going for speech therapy at school. So things like stages and stuff like that, that was a big deal for me. So I just felt like, oh, I hope the ground just swallows me up here, you know. I didn't really want to do the nasheed. So anyway, Jazakallah khair to Dr. Munir for encouraging us and taking us to the next level. And so that was an important step, I would say. And the other story which goes around that Forces event is, I remember it was the 23rd Forces event, like 23rd anniversary. And like Farouk Murad came onto the stage. And he said, look at this sign, and it says 23 years. And like, what do we have to show for it? And now we're here at the 40, like, what? So, alhamdulillah, everything good is from Allah. Then I was asked by Dr. Munir to look into this project, and I I didn't have a clue really where to start with it, but we had a philosophy, in like young Muslims, if you're asked to do something, then you did your best. So we just tried to do our best. And we saw the barakah of the teamwork actually, because, we didn't really know where it was going and how it was going to come together. But it was the barakah of like being together and trying to do something constructive. And I actually quite enjoyed it because of the creativity side of it. I actually really enjoyed that, and I enjoyed being with the brothers. And there were times when we were under pressure. Like time deadlines, and and the bits and pieces running around. Like getting like stuff together from the printers, and getting the duplicates, and like sticking like stickers on cassettes, and then finding that we would put them the wrong way, and then having to take them all off again and do them all over again. So there was all of that, and but it was very enjoyable actually, at a very like strange level. And like at school, I remember like in my music lessons, like my teacher, she'd taken us to watch Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and so that actually was quite a big inspiration for me as well. I still look back at that. And I've actually wrote the nasheeds for the life of the Prophet Muhammad. I've actually wrote 22 nasheeds to tell the story of the life of the Prophet Muhammad in actual nasheeds. And that's all on paper, so I don't know whether that project will ever go to the next level, but it's all sitting there if we can ever bring it together. And I think that would be a first actually, and it could even become a theatrical, production, even possibly, maybe, Allah knows best.
This is the benefits of thinking big, mashallah. Alhamdulillah. So what's next? Shall we? Barakallah, yeah. So I particularly wanted to mention Saifullah because he sort of sits in the background for all these years, and I wanted to set the record straight officially that I'm just the big loud piece sometimes, and I wanted just to give Saifullah the recognition he deserved as well.
If we have time, I wouldn't mind doing a nasheed, so I don't know if I've got permission from the organizers. I would like to do a nasheed myself, so.
Yeah, you got lyrics to do this first, or?
No, I don't need anything.
You want to do it now?
It's in my head, yeah.
Do it now, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll do it now. This morning, Shaitan whispered to me, forget about your prayers. My body ached, but my heart proclaimed, don't you dare. Maybe one of these days I'll wait for tahajjud too. But between then and now, there's much blessed work to do in the street. Someone abused you, insulted your noble name. Should you now be cursing him and calling him the same? Maybe one of these days they'll see the error of their ways. Become a brother in Islam, brothers in Allah's way. We should forgive and forget. forgive and forget. We could, we would. There'll be no upset. I wrote to the government, calling them to implement change. Why turn from God's mercy? Why don't you take his name? They told me they would continue with the present policy. They listen but do not hear. They look but they don't see. Please understand the message. There is a better way. Come and join the struggle and work for better days. We could, we should exhort and advise. We could, we should call to God's praise. We could, we should never compromise. We could, we would see words of truth rise high. An old friend just laughed at me when I said, God, we should pray. He said, we just live and die, and we won't be raised. You've got a lot to give us, don't throw it all away. I'll remember you in my prayers until your dying day. Remember you, remember you. Think of you, think of you. I'll remember you in my prayers. Maybe one of these days they'll see the error of their ways. Become our dear companions in Allah's noble way. We could, we should forgive and forget. We could, we should, there'll be no regret. We could, we should forgive and forget. We could, we should, there'll be no upset. We should, we could forgive and forget. To forgive and forget is to strive, 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 is to strive. To forgive and forget is to strive in Allah's way.
MashaAllah.
Remember you, remember you. Pray for you, pray for you. I'll remember you in my prayer until your dying day. Love you all for the sake of Allah.
He said one more, and we got this one. Right, forget that. Let's just do this. We're doing this one now. Okay, this one's called Come Hell or High Water. You ask me
how much longer now,
as winds blow ever stronger, I can only offer you my hand. Hold on just a little longer. These are the roughest seas that there has ever been. Yet beyond this hell of a storm, our garden supreme.
river so clean,
Come hell or high water,
you can't give up.
You've got to go on and on and on and on if you want to
Reach paradise.
Do you want to reach paradise, where clothing
Ourselves in taqwa,
yes, the best of all attire, taking the rope of Allah, hold on just a little higher. This is the highest mountain that there has ever been. Yet beyond this stairway we'll find rivers so clean.
mansion supreme.
Come hell or high water, you can't give up. You've got to go on and on and on and on if you want to
Reach paradise.
Do you want to reach paradise? An earthquake
Puts an end to the
last vestige of good cheer. Where is Allah's help now? Hold on, Allah's help is near. This is the bloodiest war that there has ever been.
Yet beyond this shelling we'll find victory supreme.
Victory supreme.
Come hell or high water, you can't give up. You've got to go on and on and on and on. If you want to
Reach paradise.
do you want to reach paradise? I ask you,
How much longer now?
wish I was somewhat stronger. You can only
Offer me your hand.
hold on just a little longer. These are the darkest times that there has ever been. Yet beyond this maelstrom we'll find garden supreme.
River so clean.
Come hell or high water, you can't give up. You've got to go on and on and on and on. If you want to
Reach paradise.
do you want to reach paradise? Come rain or bright sunshine,
You can't give up.
you can't give up. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Are you ready
To sacrifice.
do you want to reach paradise? We've got to
Go on and on and on.
if we want to reach paradise. Are we ready
To pay the price.
do we want to reach paradise? We can't give in if we want to reach paradise. Are you ready to sacrifice? Do we want to reach paradise?
Jazakallah khair.